Hey guys, Mike from Anglers here. As you know, our customer appreciation event is this weekend. One of the big things is going to be 20% off all lures. So right now I'm going to go over my top 5 lures that I always have, always love, and give you a good tip on to start with. So first of all, I'm going to go with, of course, as you guys know, Z-Man. I'm obsessed with Z-Man. This particular one, the 4-inch Slam Shady Diesel Minnow. You can't go without. This kind of goes hand in hand. It's just one lure. I classify it. I prefer the 1/4 ounce GI jigs for shallow water, striper fishing as well as trout fishing. The reason I love this color, it's just glitter. It's just the glitter. It's just glitter-tastic, and it's just shiny and glittery, and it's like a mix between white and glitter. It makes no sense, but it's what it is. And Slam Shady, it's an awesome name. But Z-Man, super durable, great, especially with this, the go-to. 1/4 ounce GI jig pairs up great with that. My go-to for shallow water fishing. Next, the Z-Man Jackhammer, Z-Man Evergreen International paired up to make the Jackhammer chatterbait. So cool thing about this, great hand-tied skirt, great head design, super strong blade as well as the hook. Great bait keepers on that hook. So overall, great for snakehead, largemouth bass. I prefer 3/8 ounce in this color. This is the green shad, I do believe, for that dark water down in Blackwater. It's one of my go-tos for snakeheads. You can put a trailer on that like a Z-Man Diesel Minnow or any other of your favorite plastics. So that's for that one. Next, oh man, my Badonkadonk from Bomber. Great top water lure. My go-to, I always have this tied on. It's a walk the dog style bait, so you're going to twitch it while reeling and it's going to walk the dog. Great hooks on it. I usually cut the front and one of the hooks off the treble hook, so I have 2 in the front, 2 in the back, or just change them to inline circle hooks. Great noise, as you can hear. Not super big, but perfect size, especially for all size fish. My go-to for the fall fishing. Then when the mackerel and bluefish are here, I love the rain minnows, but I also love my Hoagie epoxy jigs. This color especially, I forget what it's called. It's the anchovy. The anchovy, that just mimics the rain minnow, rain bait that they're chasing, the little silver sides that the mackerel and bluefish are chasing. Treble hook on it because I've lost a lot of mackerel with a single hook. Sometimes if I'm catching a lot of rockfish, I'll switch to a single hook to keep them from getting too beat up. But for mackerel, I like the treble hook, keep them hooked up a little better. But that shiny iridescence in the middle is really good. And I think it's the 5/8 ounce, 7/8 ounce. That thing casts like a rocket. And then, as you guys know me, the popping cork. I know it's not really necessarily a lure, it's more of an accessory, but I always have a popping cork tied on, especially for trout fishing, rock fishing in shallow water. This one here is made by Fathom Inshore. Super great rattle, titanium wire. Has a rattle inside the popping cork. Hesitant to put a diesel minnow on the back of that with a couple, like a foot or 2 of fluorocarbon leader. Great lure or accessory for your baits. So thanks guys, and we will see you on the next video.
How we doing, guys? Salmon Anglers, and today we're taking a look at my top 5 lures. They're going to be 20% off this weekend for customer appreciation. So let's get started. When it comes to regular plastics for rockfish, this is one of those baits we're going to be fishing all the time. This is a 7-inch bustum. It's that size for me that is super versatile, whether I'm fishing in early spring or I'm fishing in late fall. It's still the right size. If I want to bulk up that profile, I can add a skirt or whatnot onto my jig head. But the cool thing about this is the color to me. So for years, everybody either fished opening night or chartreuse, and this is a combination of both. So you're taking your 2 most popular rockfish colors, combining them. I would say over the last 3 or 4 years, without a doubt, that has been my most productive color there. Moving over here, the 4-inch Z-Man Diesel Minnow. The reason I picked this out is the versatility of it. There's really not a fish in the bay that you can't catch with this. Another thing I really like about this paddle tail is it has a very slim profile opposed to others, but it still has that same thick action, that hard thump that you get with some really big baits. So I'm able to fish with a lighter lure. I'm going to be more sensitive, all those kinds of things. Keeping with the rockfish, this is the Yo-Zuri 3DB. It's a phenomenal walking bait on the topwater. The color I picked out is one of my favorites. I really am a big fan of orange belly topwaters. I've had really good success in our local rivers and stuff with those. This bait is super easy to walk. If you've never walked a spook before, I think you can teach a 2-year-old in about 5 minutes with it. Right next to it is a jerkbait. Now, there's tons of options we sell for jerkbait. The reason I went with the Jackal Re-Range is it's a high dollar lure, and if it's going to be 20% off, this is the time to get them. They have a phenomenal tight action on the jerk. It's very erratic. It throws a ton of flash. It's really hard to beat these Jackal Re-Ranges, whether you're pickerel fishing, bass fishing, or fishing out in the bay for rockfish. Super, super versatile. And finally, I did not leave out the perch fish, and that is a 1/32 ounce Hot Skirts by VMC. These are phenomenal little jigs, whether you want to rig them up and tan them in 2 different sizes, or you can put them underneath of a float, or you can even just tip them with like a little plastic and slowly fish them in the shallows. Really versatile bait, and if I could only have one lure for perch year round, that would be it. Awesome, guys. We're looking forward to seeing you this weekend. And remember, there's all sorts of deals going on. You can check out our website for all of those. Have a great
What's up, guys? Ryder from Anglers, and I am here to go over my top 5 lures, because lures, as you know, are going to be 20% off for customer appreciation this weekend. So we'll start over here. So as you can see, I like top water. First one I have is the Heddon Super Spook Junior. I like this top water if it's like kind of flat, calm, glass water. Gives you more walk the dog, side to side action. Doesn't really pop and splash as much, which when it's real quiet out there, sometimes all the splashing and rattling is just a little too much for me and for the fish. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2 is the Savage Gear Prop Walker. I like this because it's similar to the Spook. It still does the side-to-side, walk-the-dog kind of action. You can cast it a mile as well. And what's kind of nice about it is it has these little wings on the back of it that you can pop out, and it kind of acts like a whopper plopper. So you kind of get a lot of versatility with that one. And I really like because I can cast it a mile, like I said before. The action on it's awesome. What's nice about this over the Spook too is this has a little bit of a concave face on it, so it will pop a little bit. But onto my third lure, it's not going to pop as much as the Hoagie popper that we have right here. So I like this one if there's a little bit of chop on the water because it rattles. It makes tons of noise. Big concave cup on the front, so it splashes a ton, really gets their attention. So kind of 3 different top water baits. If you can't tell, I'm big into top water. So those are going to be that. Moving on to jigs. So this is my go-to every single time I go jigging. I always, for whatever reason, I start with a 1/2 ounce jig. I always have a skirt on it, and I always start with a 4-inch Pearl diesel minnow. For whatever reason, that just seems to work for me. These skirts are going to be 10 cents each during this sale. And again, everything's going to be 20% off. But yeah, that paired up with a 1/2 ounce with a skirt, every time if I'm open water jigging, that is what I am starting with. On to a little bit different, just because this is basically all I fish for bass, is the Senko, 5-inch Senko, wacky rigged with a weedless hook. So I fish a lot of pads, a lot of brush, so I always have to have something weedless. The Senkos, I love them. You can skip them across the water and get way back underneath tree limbs and all that kind of stuff. I also usually will have one of the wacky bands on there as well, just so I can get a little bit more durability out of them. But yeah, that's going to do it. My top 5. Thanks, guys.
Hey guys, it's Alex here, and I'm going to give you my top 5 lures. Remember, all lures are 20% off during this weekend sale, so let's start. First one, it's the 4-inch Diesel minnows. One of the reasons why it's my top favorite plastic, just because it's durable, and I can use it for all kinds of fishing, whether it's pickerel fishing, snakehead, rockfish, trout. It's a versatile all-around plastic. Second one, it's Next Wrap, and this one's the XR 10, which is going to be more of like a 4.5-inch bait. Once again, I can catch anywhere from pickerel, bass, rockfish, kind of like anything around. And jerk baits are pretty much versatile all around throughout the area. This is one of my top summer baits here, and that's the epoxy jig, especially on that green mackerel color. Probably my top mackerel metal slash jig. Catch tons of fish on that. Really durable. The paint doesn't go away since it's an epoxy and the paint schemes on the inside. So great lure for your summer. This is one of my, if not my favorite right here, and that is a glide bait, especially on the crappie color, especially when I'm fishing for pickerel in the winter and bass. Most of these places have nice crappie about that same size, so I can catch all those nice big pickerel and bass from that. And this is my last pick here, and that's a Savage Gear Prop Walker. And the reason why I love that bait is, one, especially with this size, this is a little bit bigger size, great surf casting plug for rockfish out in the surf or even here in the bay. And just for bigger presentations, I can use that for largemouth. And the cool thing about it is you have those little wings there. You can pop them open and you can use it like a whopper plopper. So great lure here, versatile and multi-purpose. Great topwater lure, and personally love the black for topwater. One of my favorite colors there. Go to there. And that's my top 5 lures there for you guys. And remember, come by this weekend. They're all 20% off.
Hey everybody, Rich here with my 5 top pick lures. So I got a wide spread of stuff here, cover a couple different fisheries. So going offshore, big fan of Fathom Lures. Really love their stuff. They do a really top-notch job. Those guys down in North Carolina. Marlin, this is the Bill Collector. Bill Collector is a big favorite of mine. I like that long head, great in the short rigger position when we're chasing big blue marlin. Also works as a nice teaser for white marlin if you want to raise some of those. Moving into the bay, tandems. Who doesn't love a good tandem? Hardhead Custom Baits makes a great tandem. I'm a big fan of these colors. I really like that dark green with that chartreuse over top. Anybody that's ever talked to me in the store knows that I'm a big fan of contrast, so I like that lighter to darker contrast. I like the sparkle that's in there. If I'm throwing lures, rattle trap. If there was one lure that you needed to catch fish to eat for dinner and you were on a stranded island, a rattle trap. 3/4 ounce chrome is my favorite. That's one there. Super flashy, super noisy. It'll catch everything under the sun. Really big fan of those lures, so definitely want to have one of those in the box. The Colt Sniper from Shimano. What I really like about the Colt Sniper is the weight transfer system. So the cool thing about these, it has a weight with a spring. The spring keeps the weight forward. When you cast, the weight compresses to the tail, and that actually helps the lure cast in the right position so that it doesn't fold back on the line, get tangled. And when the lure lands, the spring pushes the weight forward, allowing that lure to move correctly in the right direction. So big fan of the Colt Sniper. And then of course I'm a big fly fisherman. The Clouser, one of the most popular flies out there. It catches all kinds of stuff. Saltwater species, freshwater, warm water species like largemouth bass, smallmouth. It was developed by Bob Clouser for smallmouth bass. And of course in smaller versions you catch trout with them. So those are my 5 top picks. Don't forget 20% off all lures for the event. So we hope you guys stop by, and good luck out there. Have fun.